So I'm actually a huge advocate of handwritten flashcards for the GRE exam because I feel that it's much easier to memorize off handwritten flashcards because you get to sort of add your own words if you want to your list. You can write your own meanings. You can write it in your own handwriting, which makes it again easier to memorize and stuff. And I prefer it much more than digital flashcards or printed out flashcards. And as a part of my 6 Secrets to Dominate Your GRE Preparation webinar, I actually teach students how they should be learning GRE vocabulary words through a technique that involves the use of handwritten flashcards. So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how you can make handwritten flashcards and of course, what should actually go inside the flashcards. So there's 2 parts to the video. The first part is the actual physical creation of the flashcards. And the second part is actually what you should be putting inside the flashcard. So to make flashcards, what you will need is you will need some A4 sheets. I would say start with 10 and then of course you can expand later if you want. Then you will need a ruler, you will need a pen, and of course you will need some scissors, okay? So first step is to basically draw lines in an A4 sheet. Try to make 4 columns and 5 rows. So if you're using a standard A4 sheet, then this becomes approximately 5 centimeters for the column width and then approximately 6 centimeters for the row width. So of course, A4 sheet is not necessary. You can also use like a notebook sheet if you want to. So once you've drawn the columns and rows, then you put 4 A4 sheets under this front A4 sheet, right? So you'll have like a stack of 5 sheets. Now you cut along the columns, right? So that you make 4 columns. Once you have 4 columns ready, then you put 2 columns on top of each other and then you cut sideways along the rows and then you'll have your flashcards ready. Now, of course, when you're making these flashcards, the goal is not to make them, like the exact same size or to make them with like, no imperfections and stuff. The goal is to make them efficiently because you're gonna have to make a lot of flashcards, right? So once you have your flashcard ready, now let's discuss what actually goes inside the flashcard. So of course, the flashcard basics are, on one side you have the word and on the back you have the meaning, right? So what I like to do is in the front side, where I write the word, sometimes I like to star the word if it's like a word that I'm having a lot of trouble with, right? So if it's a word that I'm having a lot of trouble with, then starring it will help me remember it later. Then of course, in the back, I like to write down all the definitions and then use the word in a sentence if necessary, right? So the multiple definitions thing is something that you should probably do because the GRE will test the multiple definitions of each word. Now this using in a sentence thing is something that I did just for a few dozen words. You don't have to do it for each word, especially if you can already understand what it means without actually seeing it in a sentence, right? If it's an especially complex word, then of course you can write it in a sentence. So that's pretty much all the embellishments and stuff that I do for the flashcard, and that's just how you make like a simple flashcard. So what you guys want to do is you want to start with 10 A4 sheets, right? So if you're making 20 flashcards per A4 sheet, you'll have 200 flashcards to begin with. Once you start with 200 and you fill all those flashcards and you start using those flashcards, if you feel that it's really helping you memorize all these words, then make more flashcards as you go along. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with more GRE and graduate program related information. Bye-bye.